So, there's been some controversy on Twitter about this deck in specific and how it's ruining everything. It has everything included, and I'm here to test it out. It has three ways of winning the game. You have your sleep scam, you have ice pop scam, and then you just have mega main trick being really fast. Um, I decided to go with this deck just because it kind of stood out to me. More times than not, the decks that they post on social media are notoriously ass. Um, but I just wanted to put that to the test. I've been getting a couple of good sprees into Master Ball. Yeah, I know it doesn't look like it right now because I started with the Darkrai, but all the same, we have Mega Magnetric on board. Um, I really feel like this deck has potential. So far, this has been my favorite deck of this set so far, mainly because it doesn't just do one thing. You know, we've seen the Mega Altaria deck, it does one thing. The Magnetric Zero Aura deck, it does one thing. You know, either just spam sleep, spam damage. But this deck is a little bit different because it has a combination of pretty much all of them, and it's not going to work out all the time, but the fact that you have so many ways of just coming back is pretty nice. So we got our Darkrai out of the active finally. They try to heal up. They have the lady, and yeah, they kind of wrecked me a little bit. But we go in with the Mega Magnetric. We're able to start attacking, and this is one of the faults of this deck so far. I do feel like the idea of this deck is really nice. We get a big swing with Sabrina, but there could definitely be a little bit of improvements, like Caleb being a little bit memey. But it's part of the show. I respect them for dropping this deck. We throw out the Cyrus to get my Darkrai. I just put in energy because there's tons of times where they just keep you locked in there while they build up their back guy. So you sort of just want to put the energy on to threaten them in a way. It's a situation that you see come up quite a lot, but we just clean up this game really quick because they don't have the Magnetric on the field. They don't have any sleep scam themselves. So that is the first win. But yeah, I'm glad that closer now towards the end of the set, we're seeing a lot more creativity, even though we kind of didn't expect this from the social media account. But first game against Super Meta Magnetric Zero Aura wasn't able to stand alongside this deck. Second game, we start with the Darkrai again. So these are really bad starts. They have a bad start too with the Nihilego. I do get the Oak, get some good backbone. I do want to just dump my hand, however, because Copycat still is super prevalent. I may have wanted to drop the other Rocky Helmet, but I just opt not to. It's alright. They throw out the Oak. They have a lot of things going for them. They have the full bench as well. I genuinely don't know how we pull through, but hey, whatever, right? We throw out the Oak. Still don't have anything yet. We do have our Mega Magnetric. I think this may be something along the lines of just sleep to win, because that's what it's looking like right now, because this looks super unfavorable. I'd say the biggest counterplay to this deck and pretty much all sleep scammy kind of decks is just double Pokemon Center Lady, because you're able to just rack on so much healing along with just status saving and not really ruining your deck with like Ogre Pawn, because we have seen that at the beginning of the season and it kind of worked, kind of didn't, but people don't really run it all too much anymore. They throw out the Ice Pop though, they get lots of heals, so unfortunately we don't get that first KO. But definitely let me know what you guys think about this deck so far. It's a little bit silly, but I definitely love that we're finally seeing a little bit more meta from the social media account because they usually do post memes. I'm gonna be honest, they usually do. We get the hidden. I don't know why I did the hit. I think they just weren't asleep. Either way, we clean up that first KO. They opt in for the Mega Absol, and yeah, so far it's looking like this might just be a sleep kind of win. Because they get this, they steal the Sabrina from my hand, throw out the Mega Magnetric, and we do have that Iggly buff as well. So I think that's the win con right now. The Calum comes into play. We draw those free 2 cards, and that's another cool part about this deck as well. I would definitely consider trying it if you've not already, because in matchups like this and kind of Steelix, other decks that are kind of mandatory to run megas, there are times you can use it to draw 2 cards, potentially 3, to look into your other ice pops and kind of just start stealing the game, you know? So they're spamming the ice pops. Really doesn't matter at all unless they were to wake up. So what are we seeing right now? We get the double hit and oh, they're awake. They're awake. But we do have the Cyrus. So I'm just going to go in, swap, hit. They have no option right now but to retreat or ice pop spam. And that's a stretch. That's a stretch. We're going to see it coming in. We get 1. And that's it. 1 and done. They got a retreat. They hit me big. They have the copycat. They already used up their first one earlier, so they're going to throw out the hiking trail. They're just looking to cheese it out, maybe look for a Cyrus, but I have my own to clean out that game 2. Very nice. And yeah, I'm telling you guys, I streaked with this deck, and I'm currently streaking with it already in top 3,000 or so. I'm looking to push a lot harder with the deck. Um, just because it's really fun. I made some adjustments, like I was mentioning earlier. But this time around, we're gonna see it with Suicune. We have another shitty start. If I'm gonna be honest, this is a very shitty start. You never really want to start with Darkrai, just because you don't really get anything going for you. You know, you don't have that turn 2 Magnetric hit, you don't have that turn 1 Iggly buff. You're sort of at a halting point. And do keep in mind, this is kind of a rarity. This really doesn't happen all too often. Just if you look at the math, you know, you're just more prone to start with other mons. But I'm just wanting to showcase the really crappy starts to show you guys the potential of this deck. So they throw out the copycat. They have double, you know, they have the plus 40 on them with the cape and the planes. Still no fridge. I'm just going to go in with the big 3 energy, looking for this, trying to cheese it out. And I know they also can't one-shot me, because I kind of just kept that space open. They also threw out the planes, which can hurt them in a matchup like this. So yeah, they're going to go in with that hit. We live with that nice 20. And I think what do we do here? Yeah, I try to go for this ice pop spam. Because if we get back up to 120, then they got to force their hand to throw out the Champao. I have my other one. I'm going to keep spamming that a little bit. And we get the full ice pop spam. So this is another strong point of this deck. We have an extra one just because. Throw out the 40 damage into the 20. And they don't wake up. Amazing, amazing stuff. I love this deck. They throw out the lady. They have pops of their own. But yeah, that's kind of the strength of this deck, because you can wall them out pretty well, especially super meta deck like this Suicune. forces their hand, they're going to throw out the Shampoo. And the Shampoo really is the crux of their game plan. If they don't have Shampoo, there's a high chance that they lose. So we were at least able to force one out. I'm going to put the Rocky helmet on. Aeglee buff, just slow them down a little bit. Their lady was already used. They flipped tails. And we're trying to crawl our way back in here, especially because they have the double Excalibur. Not looking good at all. But this is kind of the power of the deck, yeah? Throw the one energy on, go for the hit. Very slow game plan, but this is just not something that you would see playing a different deck like Manetric Zero Aura. You don't have this kind of slow game plan. It's either you crash and burn, or that's pretty much it. So the only way we can do this is by kind of calculating the KO so that their Mon gets KO'd at the end of their turn. So this is kind of difficult, kind of doable. They don't wake up. And yeah, we just really gotta hope for the best. So you take the 20 damage there, and I oak. Look for my double whammy. We get the hit. We get the 20. They don't wake up, and that's exactly what you need with this deck. They already used their lady. They don't have the double Pokemon Center lady. And they're just spamming everything. They're like, please, please. And that's about that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, we got that clean 140. There's nothing they can do. Peace out.